Hello, my name is Cheryl Easler, and I'm very excited to introduce you to Julie today. Julie did our SoftWave treatment, and she is here to share her journey. So, Julie, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background?
Sure. As Cheryl said, my name is Julie, and I figured I'd start with my age since that might impact some people who are thinking of this treatment. I will actually be 57 in a couple weeks. I have 3 grown children, and 2 of them live here in the Valley, and 1 lives in Seattle. And I have a wonderful man in my life, and then I recently started my own business, which has kept me very busy.
Got a lot going on, girl.
I do.
So, when did you first start experiencing hip pain, and really how did it affect your daily life?
Yeah, I was trying to go back to when it actually started. I know I started chiropractic sessions in 2016 that were intended to help with that, and so it's been since before 2016. I was having a hard time if I was in a car for a long time. I would get out and I'd have to kind of walk it off for a little bit because my hip would kind of freeze up on me. It wasn't to the point where I was not able to be active. It was just mostly going from inactivity to activity that it was the problem. The chiropractor was able to help me quite a bit at that time. It really did feel like it fixed the issue, and that lasted for probably 3, maybe 4 years. It was feeling pretty good.
So can you describe the severity of your hip pain before you decided to undergo hip replacement surgery? I know you were in a lot of pain.
Yes. About 2 years ago, the pain started increasing significantly. The chiropractic stuff wasn't working anymore, and so Jim, the gentleman that I'm with, he's a very active person. He loves to do activities. All of our dates the first year were activity based, and so it went from let's go out and do this and this and this to let me look at my calendar and see what's coming up for the next 3 days, because I need to make sure it doesn't interfere with my being able to do something I have to do later.
Oh, wow.
And so that was disheartening severely for me. He was great about it, but it bothered me a lot. I was at the point where I couldn't go for long walks. I couldn't hike anymore. Kayaking, I could do it, but getting in and out of the kayak was a lot harder, and I wasn't able to do the bending and the stooping that is kind of necessary when you're kayaking, so he had to pick up the slack on that. Sleep was another issue. I would wake up multiple times during the night to adjust my position because my hip was hurting so bad. So there were a lot of issues going on at that time.
Wow, you sounded absolutely miserable.
Yeah.
Miserable. Oh my goodness. So what activities were you unable to do because of the pain?
Well, in addition to the walking, hiking, kayaking, me and dancing. I love to go dancing, and I could do a couple dances, but it was something I had to then be prepared to be sore the next day, and so it limited my dancing too. But even the mundane things in life, the vacuuming, the weed pulling, the sitting or standing for prolonged periods, it was all detrimental and painful to do. So while those are things that I didn't necessarily miss doing, it also irritated me that I couldn't do them anymore.
Yeah, absolutely, because you are very active.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, man. So after your hip replacement surgery, how did your condition change?
Well, immediately after the surgery, there was a lot of pain, but that was to be expected, and I thought I was healing pretty well. Within a couple weeks, I was walking 10-15 minutes a day, which is what not a day, but several times a day, which is what they recommended. And so I thought I was on the right track, but then about a month to a month and a half in, things started to change, and I started getting a horrible pain in my thigh. And the hip itself felt fine. I didn't have any issues with the hip, but my thigh was hurting a lot. I went to the surgeon several times during the next several months, trying to find out what was going on. He did an x-ray, said everything looked fine, but then within 4 months it had digressed to the point where I couldn't lift my leg. I couldn't tie my shoe because I couldn't reach my foot. I was walking with trekking poles that I used to use for hiking. I would use those just to walk around because I needed to limit the amount of weight on that leg as best I could. The surgeon did an MRI. Everything came back saying everything looked good. There was no issue. There was no problem. He finally gave me a steroid shot in, I think it was December, and it did help. He thought I had tendinitis, and so he gave me a steroid shot. I thought it helped, or it did help. It took away that excruciating pain that had me using the trekking poles. It brought it down considerably, but it didn't get rid of it, and it didn't fix the problem. And it was also a temporary fix. So within a few months, the pain started coming back again, and I got to the point where, you know, I'm not able to walk through Costco because the pain would hit, and I'd literally have to stop where I'm at and just stand there until the pain subsided enough that I could kind of finish limping my way through the store. So,
Wow.
Yeah, it was not fun, and not having any answers was the hardest part.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. That would be so frustrating.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my goodness. So what was your initial reaction when you realized the pain had worsened rather than improved?
I will say at first I was being positive. I thought it was a temporary setback and that it was going to get better. But as the months drug on, I kind of lost that positivity and it kind of made way for some less desirable thoughts, and I was, you know, angry and frustrated and honestly pretty depressed about it. I just didn't see an end. I didn't see it getting any better, so it was hard to take after a while.
I bet, especially you're so young and you have such a great life ahead of you that I'm sure that was very daunting to think about, that you might not have that quality of life then, be able to do those activities that you used to be able to do.
Absolutely, and to think that a surgery I thought I was doing to make everything better ended up making everything worse. And I have so many times wished I did not do the surgery. I wish I had made a different choice, and I still do. And to be honest, throughout these treatments, all I keep thinking is, if I had known about SoftWave at that time, could it have helped me with the pain I was having from arthritis and either eliminated or at least prolonged the need, or put the need for the surgery off for a longer period of time. So that's been in my head a lot lately.
I bet for sure. So how did you first hear about SoftWave therapy?
That would be from you and Dave. You and I had a conversation about it, and you said, I think this might work for you. Can you come in for a consultation? And one thing that you had said was that the consultation will let us know if it will work for you, because it will tell us if it's going to work. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I came in and did the consultation, and within that one appointment, from the way you had described how we would know if it would work or not, I was like, oh, I think this might be something. Let's try it. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We were so concerned about you.
I know.
We just saw you just struggling.
You were all so sweet.
And we thought, heck, we really thought it could help you. Yeah. So yeah, awesome. So what made you try it finally? What did you actually give you the courage to try it?
Honestly, it was my trust in you and Dave. I know how ethical and how kind you both are, and I wasn't concerned at all. You were selling me a bill of goods and getting me to do something that wasn't actually, at least, intended to help me. And then the other thing was the price. It was more affordable than I thought it would be. So it was like, okay, this is something I can afford to do, and I don't have any reservation working with you guys. And then all of that was coupled with just desperation to find something, anything that was going to help.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. So can you describe the SoftWave therapy process and what it was like during your treatments?
For sure. As you like to say, it's a little bit spicy.
Spicy. Spicy.
Yeah, and you told me that when we did the consultation. You said, when it's going over tissue that isn't damaged, you won't really feel anything, and it's absolutely true. It feels like somebody's just tapping you on your leg or something. But when it got over the damaged area, it was like, wow, that's, kind of intense. And, I get to control the intensity by telling them to turn it up or down. And it's only for a short period of time, so it's not something I couldn't handle or didn't want to do. But yeah, it was spicy is a very good word for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I bet it was, in a way, a good situation, because then it confirmed
Yes.
what you felt was that something wasn't right.
Yes.
And I know you felt like you were kind of like, am I crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Am I being over dramatic or whatever? But that really confirmed that no, you had a problem.
Absolutely. When you have pain that nobody else can see, it's not a bruise, it's not a broken bone. It's hard for me to think. People are thinking I'm just making a big deal out of it. Nothing.
Yeah.
And also because the surgeon couldn't find anything wrong with it, I honestly thought maybe it's all in my head. Maybe I'm losing my mind and I should be over this. And so when you told me how it would feel if it was damaged, it was just like, thank you. Somebody validated the fact that there is damage and there is a reason that I'm having so much pain.
Yeah, absolutely. So how many SoftWave sessions did you undergo before noticing improvement?
It took a few. I remember after the fifth one, I was walking around doing stuff one day, and it occurred to me that my my thigh wasn't hurting. And I had never had a day like that in a very long time where I didn't think about it. I wasn't thinking about my leg and I wasn't hurting, and it was like, wow, that's new.
Yay.
After the sixth session, I was able to get through Costco. That was a huge step for me, literally, because I had not been able to do that in 7 months.
Wow.
After the surgery. So
good.
That was huge. And then after my 7th session, we took a trip to Tahoe, and I was able to do a 4-mile walk. Not a hike. I didn't go up in the mountains, but I did walk around town for 4 miles, and my thigh didn't hurt. The rest of me hurt because I haven't exercised or done any activity in over 2 years. But it was almost refreshing to have that familiar I worked out hard feeling as the pain I was experiencing, as opposed to the bone deep pain of the thigh thing I was having.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my gosh, that's so great. That's so fantastic. So how has your pain level changed since starting SoftWave therapy?
Well, before I started, if we say that was a level 5, I would say now, depending on what I'm doing, it's between a 1 and a 2.
Nice.
It's a very big area, as Dave keeps telling me. It's a significant bone, an area that is damaged. So we're still working on some of it. We did the first round of sessions. We focused on the upper part of my thigh up to my hip, and we're doing a second session now that focuses from my mid thigh down to my knee. And so with each session, I do feel like it's getting better, and I'm hopeful by the end of this round of sessions that all will be good.
Awesome. And also one thing is that it does take time, like even after your last session.
Yeah.
It's about 12 weeks where those little stem cells are doing their thing and repairing that tissue.
Right.
And so usually people will just continue to improve even after they're done with their sessions because of that healing time.
I remember you had said that.
Yeah. So can you share some of the activities that you can do now?
Yes.
That you couldn't do before, other than Costco.
Right? Costco.
That's a big one.
I am, like I said, I did that walk in Tahoe. I'm riding my bike. I'm trying to ride it four times a week, and I'm doing at least 8 miles each time.
Wow.
I am dancing again. When we go out, I get out on that dance floor and have fun. And, one of the things that I am super excited about, and it's stupid, and people are probably going to laugh, but I can get dressed standing up again. I couldn't do that before. I had to sit down to put pants or shorts on. and because I couldn't lift my leg high enough. And now I just jump in my pants and I'm off and running, and it's amazing.
Just those little things that we really take for granted,
It is.
right?
Yes.
Those little things mean a lot,
Absolutely.
though. Especially as we get older, we want to.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Those little things really end up meaning a lot.
Yes, they really mean a lot.
So, how has the reduction in pain impacted your overall quality of life? Would you say?
It has given me back my hope. I truly had given up any hope of it not being the rest of my life, and so to see the progress that I've made over these last few weeks, it's restored that hope that everything will eventually be okay again. And when you're dealing with chronic pain, it wears on you. And so I've noticed I'm a little more patient and a lot less aggravated, and I just have more fun now.
Yeah, that chronic pain is physically exhausting, but it's very emotionally exhausting too. And so people tend to be very short-tempered, and just life is definitely not the same for sure. And I know that when we saw you, we were just so concerned. We just saw you just hobbling around, and we just felt so bad for you, girl. Oh my goodness. So were there any unexpected benefits or changes that you experienced from SoftWave therapy?
To be honest, all of the benefits were unexpected, because I just didn't have hope. I believed in you, but I didn't think anything was going to help.
Yeah.
So all of the benefits have been unexpected, and just the freedom that it's given me is amazing.
Yeah, it's nice to see you back to yourself for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. So what are your hopes and goals for the future now that your pain is decreasing and you're getting better?
Right. One of my hopes in the near future is to start hiking again once the weather cools off. I'm hoping to get back out on the trails. I'm not a great hiker, but I do love going out on the trails and being out in nature. It's just so much fun, and I have totally missed that. But I think my biggest goal overall is just to be able to live life again without pain being the ruler of the day, without having to, worry about, well, what's this going to mean 3 days from now, or how am I going to feel tomorrow night if I do this today? And so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, for sure. It's got to be so hard to plan every single thing.
Oh, yeah.
Your whole life's activities around that pain issue. Yeah. So would you recommend SoftWave therapy to others experiencing pain?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's something that was completely unexpected for me, but probably absolutely the best choice I had made in the last year was doing this treatment.
Oh, that's so awesome. And one of our goals that we have is we really want to try to reach as many people as we possibly can before they have to have surgery.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, as you experienced, surgery doesn't necessarily fix things, and oftentimes it can actually get worse. Yeah. And so the more we can spread the great news about SoftWave therapy, the more people we can help, the more people we can avoid having to do drugs or surgery.
Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely our mission in the community, for sure. Yeah. So is there anything else that you'd like to share about your journey, your experience with SoftWave therapy?
Just my gratitude to you and Dave. You were both so amazing, and the fact that you brought this to my attention, that this could be something that could help, has been amazing. And I love all of your staff. Literally, some of them are like children to me. So it's been amazing being able to work with all of you, and just, wanting to also share your message to everybody, because I know I had gotten onto a Facebook page about hip replacement, and there are so many people that are suffering through this, and it's amazing to think they don't necessarily have to.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some great options out there nowadays, for sure. So what advice would you give someone considering SoftWave therapy for chronic pain?
Try it. Come in for a consultation, because you can tell within that consultation if it's something that's likely to help you. And if you're in the situation I was in, there's really no downside to it. There's no reason, nothing to lose. Yeah. So try it.
Absolutely. Well, we are so glad that you're feeling so much better.
Yes, thank you.
And we hope to be able to help so many more people in the community. So if you would like to learn more about SoftWave, feel free to give our office a call at 603-5444, or you can visit our website at www.trinitychiroaz.com.